Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Phantom Horizons / Stars Without Number GM Prep / Faction Turn. This is totally being done live and not filmed after the unboxing. I have a different seltzer. Anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about faction-y stuff, probably a little more just kind of general thoughts and GM prep again. So let's start with the last episode. So as I said in the last GM prep stream, the crew of the Crimson Xanth were cornered. They discussed what to do, and they decided to book it. For any given value of book it, which was enter the flow, enter a spike drill, which I don't think some of the people thought was going to happen. So the beginning of the episode, we talked about where would not Freya. Freya was one of the people who didn't want to go. Where would Zephyr send them to? Where would she drill them off to? So they were here in the Nema system, outside the Ruby Lighthouse and the Herald Planet at the Vivero Mine Project. There we go. Gas Giant Mine, Vivero Project. Okay. They were here. They could have gone to the Dura system, which has Campera, which I described as kind of a low-tech piratey bolt hole. It's kind of there's not a lot of traffic there because they don't have much to offer. So therefore, you go there if you don't want to be found. Because someone has to go look for you there. They're not just going to stumble across you. Then their other option was Frid, which has a government which restricts space travel. So if they could have snuck onto the planet, they would have been safe from outside forces, safer. They would have had a hell of a time trying to hide from the government, though. Freya also made a black market trade roll to remember that there is a eugenics cult active on Frid, and that was pretty much ruled out. So after a series of questions, Liz determined that Zephyr would go to Ma XX. Or Ma 20. I think Ma XX is funnier. Which is a planet undergoing a Cold War between the Co and the St. Albans Alliance. The Co being kind of more worker class focused space atheists or space theists. And the St. Albans Alliance being more religious-minded. They are members of Vatican X, and they typically have a more upper-class kind of feel. They decided to go hang out with the Co. And they split up and decided what to do with the data. They all kind of broke off into little subgroups. That's an interesting thing about this group and this stream, is there is probably going to be a lot of side scenes with individual players, because all of the players made people, not an adventuring party, which is great. In a game like D&D, I don't think that works. In a game like this, or Marty and I, we briefly talked about, this is what World of Darkness was like when he played, all those for that period of time when he played a lot of World of Darkness. when he was younger. There were lots of times where you broke off, and he's told me about that and stuff like that. And I think this will kind of lend itself to that in a lot of ways. So that's where we're going to pick up Ma XX. The last thing that happened was Lucifer noticed a news feed saying that the Vivero Mine project exploded, which is bad for our intrepid adventurers because that's where they last were and where they stole this data from. So it's probably fine. Okay, so there was something else. Let me see. Okay. So on here, I've got a couple of these factions we haven't filled out yet. I'm going to delete some of them. So I'm going to, or swap them out rather, because I've decided a few things. So the ones I'm going to take out right now are the Uplifted, the Exalted Children, the Jovians, and the Lunar Remnant. So let me kind of go through what I'm thinking for all of them. They're all just, it's not that they won't be important. It's not that they won't even be players in the future. It's just, I kind of don't know what to do with them right now, or they may not have. So let me go through them. So the Lunar Remnant, the thing is, the role is being filled in many ways by the Colonial Confederation and the Merchants Consortium. So the Colonial Confederation is powered here in the core, and that kind of even extends to down here and over here and stuff like that. This is the core. It's terminology, I think, stripped straight from Star Wars and Ravenloft, and it's good. The core. Out here, the Merchants Consortium is king. He's a regent. And I don't want to call this the Outer Rim because I don't want to quite rip off totally Star Wars. So I'm thinking either the Remote Reaches or Distant Cluster, or Distant Reaches, Remote Cluster, something like that. Kind of like Remote Reaches. Or I was thinking of some kind of check. Or Big Dipper, because it's kind of Big Dippery. And so the Lunar Remnant just doesn't quite fit with what I was thinking about and what I had in mind. So I think I just need to rework them slightly. And I think I might wrap them up with the Ward. Make them more the Space Ranger-y, the, outreach programs, Coast Guard. I keep wanting to say Border Protection, but that has certain connotations nowadays. It's more Coast Guard. Even National Guard, kind of. Disaster relief, Red Cross kind of thing. And I kind of think I want the Lunar Remnant and the Ward to kind of be wrapped up into that. So maybe either I'll combine the names and be the Lunar Remnant Ward, or it's the Lunar Remnant and they send the Ward to help you. So, it's National Guard. They send National Guardsmen and women. National Guarders. So that's what I'm thinking with Lunar Remnant. It's just not quite what I thought it was going to be. It's not where I want it to be, so I just don't want to mess with it right now. Or I want to rework it, rather. The Uplifted, kind of same thing a little bit. We haven't really encountered much alien stuff or anything going outside of human space, so I don't quite know what to do with this yet, and I don't think they have an impact out here. So it's not that they won't be important at some point, I just don't think they're important right now, so I kind of don't want them to have something in the faction turn. The Exalted Children. They were the hippie space cult. I I think they're interesting and fun, but ostensibly they're a peaceful and passive organization, and kind of scattered and disorganized, which makes them boring for. The hell do I want to? Sorry, I just got a pop-up warning asking about a color scheme. Hold please. Change the color scheme to Windows 7 Basic. I guess. Crap. Oh, what the heck? Hold please. Oh, right. I messed with this the other day and I kind of got all wonky. Okay, there we go. Hold on a second. Oh, it just changed my... Whatever. Okay. Weird. Okay, where am I at? Faction turn. Sorry about that. Okay. What was I saying? The Exalted Children, they're ostensibly peaceful and passive, which I think makes for boring faction turns from them, and they're just gonna get beat up. I don't think that's super fun. The Jovians. I originally pictured this as... Oh, crap. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm deleting them both. The Jovians, they were the space mafia and kind of black market, but because we've built in these communication lags and kind of Pony Express aspect of communication, I think the idea of a massive interstellar crime syndicate makes less sense. Pardon me. So I'm going to focus more on the idea of crime families and organizations per sector. So it's just that there's no one... It's not the Black Sun from Star Wars. Or... Are they the Crimson Sun in Solo? Anyway. The Crimson something. Or Jabba the Hutt cartels. You know, it's not massively interstellar. It's going to be... No, if you want crime done in this sector, you go talk to Loose Lips Pete or Tight Lips Susie, that kind of thing. So that's that. I am going to, I think, let me see, put you up there, delete. Okay, so how this video is that? I don't know. I don't know what that Windows warning was. That was weird. But I think it's time to do a cleanse of my computer. I gotta find my external hard drive now. Okay. So one, I'm going to add Axiom Core onto this list because the players have been doing a lot with them, and I kind of want more. I've kind of built the way we've built the universe. It's a little Blade Runner-y, cyberpunk-y. There are megacores. They may only be active in certain small sectors, but they're still megacores. And the Merchants Consortium kind of plays into that, especially in this sector of space. So Axiom Core, which currently has had a big blow dealt to it on stream. As I said, the Vivero Mine project just blew up, and they are currently undergoing... they've got some data leakage of some very, very nasty accusations. So there's Axiom Core. Yeah, and I don't know if I want to add anything. So, Axiom Core, Vivictus, who are mercenaries, but I think I was also thinking about eliminating them just because I don't know if they have any of their own goals or if they're just troops you can hire. But I think they have to have their own goals in some capacity. The Fourth Estate is an interstellar news syndicate. In the core, it's very much, Fox News. And I mean that in not necessarily in literally the flavor of politics, but just that it is consistent messaging across all platforms they own. You get viral news feed from your Twitter or whatever we have in the future, Facebook. It's consistent messaging. That's in the core up here. Out here, it gets a little harder to have such consistent messaging since it might take 2 weeks for information to get from here to here. If you're lucky, if now 13 gets traveled to. So out here, I kind of feel like they're like news czars, where it's still consistent messaging across the platforms again. It just doesn't necessarily match up with this consistent messaging. It's, here, let's say if you have Rupert Murdoch here controlling all the messaging, and way out here you have Ted Turner controlling all the messaging, but it's still technically the same company. So yeah. The Spectrum is a communications manufacturer and entertainment provider. So they produce all the comm equipment. They produce the way information is dispersed, and their TV channels and probably Twitch sponsors and all that stuff. Axiom Core is a multi-sector mining conglomerate and weapons and vehicle manufacturer, and they are doing illegal bleeding-edge human experimentations. Vatican X we've talked about. They are the Space Church. Oh, and Pax Terra. Pax Terra are a pro-human rights group. They're gross, is about all I can say about them. And they are most likely active kind of out here. They're not going to have too much of an effect down here yet. Okay, so do I want anything else? I was thinking some kind of big pharmaceutical might be good. Pharmucon. Yeah. I'm going to call them... Oh, shit. I'm going to call them better. Better. Okay. So let's go through and assign all the faction assets and stuff. So let's see. I have way too many factions. Which actually means, you know what? Let me delete you. And let me delete you, since I already have too many factions. Let's move everybody up. These numbers will go away. Okay. So Pax Terra. Let's make sure I'm not like... Okay. Should be fine. Okay, Pax Terra. Let's think. Oh, I know it lists Sorry, somewhere in here it tells you how to build them. There we go. Okay, so Pax Terra is a minor power. They have 4. Yeah, I think they got some money behind them. Some creepy, gross, pro-human. Somebody is supporting them. They're disorganized and they don't have any real cunning. Axiom Core is all wealth, all cunning, little. No, wait. Because they're arms dealers, but that doesn't mean that they can use the arms. I think it still means that they just give the arms to someone else to use. So they can use, and I think that's part of their wealth, yeah. And their cunning. They would never be caught operating kind of... No, these aren't Axiom Core employees. Everyone uses Axiom Core weapons. Or, only the best use Axiom Core weapons. It's not a crime to have your weapons be used in a crime. That's an end-user agreement issue. Okay. The Fourth Estate. Let's see. I think that's 6-5. Right. Spectrum. I think... it's actually... Yeah, and I think I'm going to do that. And Vatican X is going to be a powerhouse. Yeah, something I always liked in Doctor Who was in the future they show priests as soldiers. Like, I'm pretty sure they're kind of more akin to like paladins, but they're like still fought. They're like, they serve a church. They're like brothers and fathers and sisters and stuff like that. But they're all decked out in military gear and have guns and stuff. I always did think that was kind of just neat of this is, and because kind of space is the wild frontier, it's, you send priests out to, they're part of expansion efforts because you're expanding your your cultural power as well, and just kind of the idea that they eventually just merge into one. I mean, it's creepy, but it's cool. Okay. Pax Terra, let's see. Their tag. What's their tag? Oh, are they colonists? That's kind of funny. Fanatical also fits, but colonists is kind of funny to me just because they're like pro-human, pro-Earth, and the idea that they're not on Earth, and Earth is a steaming pile of atomic goop. It's another one of his games. It's other dust. It's bad. Although I was actually oh no, that was something else. Never mind. Thinking of ways to tie paranoia into the setting, and I think I found one. But yeah. I think Fanatical does fit better. So I'm going to do Fanatical. Their goal is Planetary Seizure, for sure. Axiom Core. Let's see. Plutocratic. I mean, do I have? Yeah, they're Mini Merchants Consortium and commercial expansion. Fourth Estate. Let me just do Vatican X real quick because I just saw it. There's Theocratic. Fourth Estate, I think, is Machiavellian. No, I want that to be Spectrum, just because they got the higher. Oh no, can't read. I keep misreading. There we go. Okay, and what is their goal? Where are goals? There we go. I think it's Wealth of Worlds, which is different than commercial expansion. Commercial expansion is destroying other people's... It's like overtaking it and destroying it. And I do think that something like that, Axiom Core, that's what they're doing. They are trying to destroy and eliminate competition. Something like the Fourth Estate, they just want money. And kind of they're doing whatever they want to get it. And even then, it's not quite money. Well, what about Intelligence? No. Oh, Expand Influence is good. Let's do Expand Influence, and then Spectrum wants the money, but they're not Machiavellian. Let's see. There we go. Faction tags. I think it's deep rooted. Yeah. Because, like, I live near Philadelphia, and Comcast is deep rooted here. They have the biggest building in the city. You go to the Comcast Tower, and they have a light show around the holidays. Like, Comcast gets stuff done in the city. They just do. They're deep rooted, and I think that's a cool, interesting thing. Okay, so that's that. They get assets. Let me remember. Oh, so relationship to the players, neutral, hostile, neutral. Yeah, that's right. Because the only ones they're friendly with right now are the Merchants Consortium because of Freya, and the Lens Star because of Dr. Drake. Let's see. Pax Terra. I think their homeworld is going to be... Megon. Axiom Core, let's have their homeworld be Herald, so that they are especially hurt that the Vivero Mine Project, which is the neighbor to Herald, got all busted up. Fourth Estate. Ooh, Hive Mind. Let's do Delis. The Spectrum. Oh no, Vatican X. Because it says Holy War. Cultural Power, Holy War. I like it. And the Spectrum. Edit. Yeah, who can pronounce that? Rado. The planet's Rado Limero. Good enough. Okay. Oh boy. All right. Okay. Pax Terra is a small organization. What do they get? Oops. One asset in primary and one asset in a different. So their primary is force. Ooh, security personnel. Ooh, zealots. And they get one more. And they had money. I think they have lawyers. So that's Pax Terra. Axiom Core. Axiom Core for sure has lawyers. So let's do that right away. Ooh, and lobbyists. So what an Axiom Core is minor. And they are mostly wealth. Let's see. I think lawyers and lobbyists. Okay. Who's next? Fourth Estate. Fourth Estate's bigger. Okay, 2 in their primary and 2 others. Okay. Primary is cunning, and they're pretty wealthy. So let's see, cunning. They have a 6, so they can go anything 6 lower. Fourth Estate demagogue. They definitely have a demagogue. And informers. I think that's good. That makes sense. Okay, and then wealth. Let's focus on wealth. Let's see. Marketers. Definitely. There we go. Okay, let's see. Oh, what's franchise do? That's interesting. They have like plausible deniability. Let's see, force. It's not quite. Counter intel though. I think that's kind of cool. They can like code crack and that kind of stuff. Okay. We just need the Spectrum and Vatican X. Spectrum, how many? Spectrum is big. So it gets 4. Is that 2 in wealth? 2 in wealth. And while similar to the Fourth Estate, I do want it to be different. At least somewhat. So let's see. Ooh, what's Transit Web? They don't technically have enough money to do it, but... I think Shipping Combine makes sense just for the way that information travels in this setting, where it's all at the speed of ships. So they would have ships that can transport a lot of stuff at once. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. It's the Spectrum, because their deal is information. They would be able to get they would be the fastest at communication, which means they just need fast ships. They need good ships. So, yeah. Okay. I get one more wealth. What's Monopoly? Oh, that's kind of cool. They can force people to... blackmail, though. That's cunning, so that's fine. So, Monopoly. And one more. They also have to have informers. It just makes sense. And the reason why they can blackmail is they can read your mail, dude. Like... Yeah, we know you're having an affair with your wife, Senator. Yeah, don't sext her, you dope. First of all, it takes a week. Second of all, you're an idiot. Okay, and Vatican X is another big one, so it looks like they get like 6. Four in their primary. Oh, they get 8. Jeez. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they are pure wealth. Yeah. Now that's fine. That's from these. I'm messed up. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why that's like that. But anyway. Okay, asset tricks. They are wealth. Let's see. What's their wealth score? 8. Transit Web. They can move wherever they need to go. Marketers. What church would they be without marketers? Oops. Where am I? Oh, they're definitely going to be Party Machine too. Let's see. Lawyers. Yeah, one more wealth. Medical center. Religious organizations often have hospitals associated with them. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I like it. What was the one I saw that I liked? Demagogue. Oh, organization moles. Is that cunning? That has to be cunning. Oh, party machine. Yeah. Let's get a force. Just as I said, they have something. Zealots. Yeah, I think that works. Crusades and all that. Okay, cool. So everybody's all asseted out. Okay. We get a faction turn itself. So what did... So lots of establishing base of influences. And I think that's going to be something similar. I'm going to take away Axiom Core's faction turn because they are suffering a devastating loss. So, loss of Vivero Mine Project. It's unclear who blew it up. I mean, they might have blown it up. Somebody else might have blown it up. Casual venting of gas might have blown it up. I'm not pointing any fingers. Only to say that literally we don't know why it blew up yet. We know it blew up and that's it. So if they orchestrated it, well, that was their faction turn. And if they didn't, because I'm not saying they did, they are still reeling from the loss. Regardless, they lose their faction turn. I'm declaring that unilaterally. Pax Terra. Pax Terra are from... Where did I say they were from? Megon. Oops. And where was that? That was over here. Someone. Here we go. So, I think they need to establish a base of influence on Megon. Fourth Estate. Let's see. The Fourth Estate and the Spectrum to me seem like obvious enemies. Just because they would be such good allies together that they almost resent each other. It's just like they don't see that the potential of comradeship and working together is there. Instead, they're just like, yeah, but what if we had their stuff? And we could do it, and we wouldn't have to work with those jerkholes. So I think there's going to be a little skirmish, and they are... Let's see. Delis and Lamero. And there's Delis. I think Lamero is right here. Yeah, so they're pretty close together, too. So let's see. Asset tracker, Fourth Estate. Okay. Oh, how do I... Oh, that's right. I have to use... I think I use a D8. Hold on. Actions. D10. Oh, let me get my new D10 from the Essentials Kit, which I didn't just open on stream. It was totally last week. Okay. So, and my purple one. Okay. So I think the Fourth Estate are going to use their marketers on Spectrum. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Okay. Okay, so use marketers on an asset. Let's see. I think on their informers. On informers. Failed. They did not do well. Okay, so do the informers have a counterattack? Let's see. I don't think they do. Okay. The Spectrum. Ooh, sugar. Okay, and I think the last two are going to be real easy. Establish BOI on Limero. And establish BOI on... Oh no. What the heck? I don't know what I just did, but cancel. Oh, crap. You can click and drag. Huh. I don't know if that's new or not. Where is... Here we go. On mass. Oh! Oh boy, I didn't even recognize the pun of that. That's too good. That's too good. I'm an idiot for not seeing that earlier, but that's too good. Okay. So that's the first full faction turn between this and the first episode. The second episode, there was a bit of just general GM prep. And at the beginning of that was the essential skin. At the beginning of this one, there was some general GM prep too. So I like where everything's at right now. I think this is a better list. It's still too big, but I like it, and you can't change my mind. But like the things I took off at the beginning are still active. They just don't get faction turns. And I think it would have been a better way to go about all of this. And I might still take some away. Like Ultima Thule, it's really nothing. Like I don't know if they have enough organization to do anything with it. And kind of the Seventh Sanctum, it's interesting and I like it, but I don't know what they want. There needs to be conflict, and I partially I think I created too many good guy organizations, which I took out a lot of in here. There's no conflict between people who are all nice to each other. So that's why I want to build up the Fourth Estate and the Spectrum and Axiom Core and Mega Cores in general are good fodder for this because they're Mega Cores. They're kind of inherently shitty. But no, I do think this is a good place to be at. I like all this stuff. And I think that's it for this faction turn. Yeah. How you doing? I'm Andy Hatton. You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Hatton. There's that's where I post the schedule and updates and stuff like that. Post when it goes on Twitter or YouTube. This week is Spelljammer, Star Chasers episode 6, the Bright Summer Court. They are on Bide. It's gonna be cool and fun. We get to continue to explore my homebrew world. Before, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what's gonna happen. Next Monday is Call of Cthulhu, and next Wednesday is Task Force Unlikely. And if you're not caught up on Task Force Unlikely, episode 19, Lava Boat to Drowtown, is a great place to start. It's a new arc that's going to be very underdarky that they're going to be in for a bit. They're just killing it. Seriously, check it out. And if you haven't seen any of the Phantom Horizon streams, why are you watching this one? But check that out, because those have also been great. I'm biased. Everything we do is pretty great. But yeah, no, I can't say that they're my favorites, because that would be a lie. Because I love them all. They're all my children. My role-playing game stream children. Anyway, bye. Have a good night. Oh, no, wrong one. I have the cool space opener. I might as well use it.